в магазин.
Dwarven crafts. Find dwarven crafts. Direct from Orthamar.
Дворвенкрафт.
Забавно.
Вот что в Денериме какая-то беда.
Мгм. Что-то полплоечный Гарри Поттер как-то.
Welcome to the wonders of Thedas. We carry...
Ну, может, у него появилась...
Что ты все руны у него выкупишь, что ли? Или
Нет, только вот...
ну, крутые.
Крутые, да.
Всяких там подмастерий, я думаю, не стоит.
Значит, вот эту куплю.
Угу. Ну-ка, может умельце пламя, чтобы, ну, урон от огня?
Ну, думаю, тоже вот эту купить.
Блин, жаль, в посох нельзя вставить. У Вин как раз есть кольцо на 10% этого пламени.
И будет целых 0,3 плюс 0,3.
Ну да.
Вот это тоже возьмем.
Ну ладно, да, берем.
Все остальное.
Разве, а вот, например, мастер железа, бодрость.
Это...
Блин, 20.
Вот это паралич бы я еще взял бы. Ну, куда ее
маленький.
вставлять еще? Кольцо веков. Вот это, конечно, штука. Ее хочу тоже.
Да ну. Хотя у нас колец нету. А, 78. Дергалка.
Я дождусь просто еще сейчас. Думаю, на куплю.
Да, пока ты накопишь 78, у тебя уже игра закончится.
Да и все, здесь больше ничего интересного нету. Зелье лириум у меня много.
Да чё?
Вот я свой продал.
У него нет этих припарок купить?
Не, припарок нету.
Ну ладно. Ну и не надо.
Ну и да. Так, все, идем в... А здесь финаш там или что-то еще рано? Кстати, в Денериме-то.
Нет, только когда у тебя будет собрание земель, тогда откроется эльфинаж.
А, ладно.
После того, как ты всех соберешь. Ну, этих дворфов и эльфов.
Так, иду к отряду. Вот смотри, вот так всегда из города, когда выходишь.
Ну, вот что Денерим какой-то поломанный у тебя. Подойди к собаке.
Он нам ничего не скажет.
Подойди к Заврану. Поболтай. А, давай сначала подарки раздарим. Так, сначала открой Заврана и подари ему сапоги. Выше. Выше, 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 выше. Вот.
That smell. This is Antivan leather, isn't it? I would know that
Ты их никто
anywhere.
еще не носил.
I don't know how you found it, but thank you.
Примерять или...
Примеряй. Давай первая, может.
Now, if only you could find me a prostitute or two, a bowl of fish chowder, and a corrupt politician, I'd really feel like I was home. feet as well. Marvelous.
Небольшой бонус к
Вон,
лову.
круто. О,
Это у
плюс
это у
16.
него.
Да, да, у него, естественно. Плюс 16 одобрил. Поболтай с ним теперь, может, он тебе расскажет про своих шлюх. Про свою мать-шлюху.
I've a question, if I may. Well, here's the thing. I swore an oath to serve you, yes? And I understand the quest you're on, and this is all very fine and well. My question pertains to what you intend to do with me once this business is over with, as a point of curiosity.
Ну что, хочешь, чтобы я это ответил?
Ну, он скажет, о, я не против. Может быть, может, 2. А, не, подожди, стой.
Ну, первый тогда здесь.
Не, может, 2?
Oh, I imply nothing specific, of course. One simply assumes that once your Grey Warden business is finished, you would have no need of an assassin to follow you about. Am I wrong?
Ну, первый, наверное.
Мгм.
Сейчас, подожди. Ну, 2 неплохо. Стой, подожди!
Indeed.
Ну, я не
Good.
дочитала!
I might even be glad to call myself such, come to think of it. It is good to know what my options might be, but that is for another time. For now, we have much
Ты же
to do,
грузишься.
yes?
Я не дочитала, что
Ладно.
там было.
Но зато плюс 4.
Еще раз нажми. Ладно, все равно ты не будешь его трахать.
What say you?
Ах. Так смотришь, как? Так
Нажать?
Not everyone, but a beautiful woman like yourself. Why not? I'm sure you draw many stares from men and even other women. Does this bother you?
Давай 3.
Then I shall keep that in mind, and perhaps even redouble my efforts. There was a young elven dancer in Antiva City once, and I believe I actually managed to stare off all 7 of her skirts. It's a trick worth retrying. Now that that is out of the way, perhaps we should move on. With you in front, of course.
Так не еще раз, я хочу, чтобы он рассказал свои истории.
Отлично.
Ну давай 3.
Again? I'm game.
Прошу пройти в мою палатку.
Ну да.
Давай второе.
Ну да, тут больше ничего.
This could be a sensitive topic, my dear lady. Are you sure you wish to voyage there?
Что их так много? Или первое?
Давай 2.
As you wish. Let me start by saying that my history is varied indeed. It has also not been restricted to women. Does that offend you?
О! Давай 3.
I grew up amongst whores, my dear. Sex is best when done well, and truly that is my only rule. Do I prefer women? Yes, I believe I do. But you must understand that a certain open-mindedness is sought by the crows in their recruits, for very good reasons.
Первое или третье?
Может 4? Я не знаю, может или 3.
Ну, давай первое.
Давай.
I have had to do many things in my work as an assassin, some pleasant and many not so. The crows recruit elven assassins because we are considered beautiful by humans. I'm sure you can imagine the rest. I cannot change my past, obviously. I regret far more than the men and women I have been with, and if that is more than you can bear, well, then it is good we know now, yes?
Может,
Третье.
либо 4?
Четвертое.
Угу.
Just so. Ah, enough talk of the past. It is what lies ahead that is important, no?
Такой, наверное, думает, как ты меня заебала
Again?
уже.
I'm game.
Ну все, осталась только палатка. Если я его сейчас позову в палатку,
Нет,
то
не надо звать его в палатку, там. Не надо.
пойдем тогда к Алистеру. Он просто так меня одобрил.
Подожди, стой, стой. А у тебя есть какие-нибудь шмотки для Алистера? Ну, эти подарки. Что это такое? А, покажи.
Простое кольцо.
А, надо было продать. Ну-ка, наведи на меч. Амулет в форме меча. ХЗ. Символ Андрасты подарили Лиане сразу? Угу.
Oh, how dear of you. Thank
Так,
you so
ну-ка
much.
наведи сюда. Толстый том покрыт темной пыльной кожей. Вин, подари его.
Oh, marvelous.
Oh, marvelous. Так, ну повыше прокрути. Проскроль. О, статуэтку воина подари Алистеру. Наверное, ему.
Is that for me?
Угу.
Really?
Такой бог.
I'm... Wow!
А наверх прокрути. А, все, да.
Угу. Каменная статуэтка дракона.
А, ну, можно, в принципе, Алистеру.
Is that for me? Really? Wow!
Вино.
Можно, короче, ему просто понадарить все, чтобы у него была прям соточка.
Вин, подари вино. Попробуй.
Oh, marvelous.
Мгм. А кварц... А, это просто
Мгм.
продать. Так. Что еще там есть? А ну-ка на медальон наведи. Медальон. Блин, вот это интересно для кого. Даже не знаю, не помню. Ладно, блин, надо Гогорна найти, ему еще бухло отдать.
Можешь за Врану медальон отдать?
Не. Медальон. Ну-ка, а еще наверх? Наверх. Прокрути, проскроль еще. Стой. Ну-ка, на вот это наведи. Это... Ага. А на вот это? Так, это бухло. Вот это подари этой.
Мориган.
Да. Попробуй.
A fine gift. You have my thanks.
Ну все, остальное тут... Серебряный слиток. Блин. Попробуй за Врана отдать.
You have excellent taste.
Влечение, блин.
Лечение, блядь, половое. А попробуй, знаешь что? Открой Стена. Ну-ка, наведи. Блядь, мудила. Попробуй ему портрет отдать.
I am impressed. My thanks.
Еще натюрморт. Ну,
Unexpected. Thank you.
Ну, портреты.
да.
Unexpected. Thank you.
И все. Все. Шикальство. О! Получен навык. В смысле навык?
У Стена.
А, у Стена что такое? А, сильно. А кодекс? Кодекс Стен. Ну-ка прокрутить что?
Ой, у Стена неплохие способности к рисованию. На первый взгляд это может показаться странным, но на самом деле это лишь одна грань системы испытания Кунари.
Ну, у Гитлера тоже как бы были художественные таланты.
Он уважает художника за аккуратное исполнение, в каково он включает все вплоть до длины мазков кисти. Да.
Да, сохранись тогда. Ой, чуть переваливается там с ноги на ногу.
Картина рассматривает.
Шикалистер.
Here, look at this. Do you know what this is?
Это твое новое оружие. Ладно, это роза. Я правда не видел, что там, ну ладно.
Ну, ладно. Угадаю.
I picked it in Lothering. I remember thinking, how could something so beautiful exist in a place with so much despair and ugliness? I probably should have left it alone, but I couldn't. The Darkspawn would come and their taint would just destroy it.
Как она не сгнила.
So I've had it ever since.
Какие милые чувства.
Слишком как-то по-саркастичному
Ну, тогда давай
звучит.
первый.
Нет! Подожди, ничего не тыкай.
Давай,
С ним?
стратег.
Чё, стратег?
Ну, говорю, давай, стратег, говори, что делать.
А с ним делать, с кем? А, с цветком. Ай, не знаю, давай 3.
I thought that I might give it to you, actually. In a lot of ways, I think the same thing when I look at you.
Какая прелесть.
Первый, наверное.
А почему не 5?
Попахивает френд-зоной. Ну, просто... Поняла, да?
Давай. Давай. Не знаю я.
В
Давай.
смысле, ты же его... Или нет?
Давай первое.
I guess it's a bit silly, isn't it? I just thought, here I am, doing all this complaining, and you haven't exactly been having a good time of it yourself. You've had none of the good experience of being a Grey Warden since your joining. Not a word of thanks or congratulations. It's all been death and fighting and tragedy. I thought maybe I could say something. Tell you what a rare and wonderful thing you are to find amidst all this darkness.
Так, да? Гениальный план. Первый, наверное. Второй, точнее.
Ну да, тут все, кроме второго, все какое-то, знаешь, даже, ну, типа, просто, как бы, не знаю.
Френд-зона.
Даже не то, что френдзона, а как-то все обидное.
Ну ладно, давай второе.
I'm glad you like it. Now, if we could move right on past this awkward, embarrassing stage and get right to the steamy bits, I'd appreciate it.
Четвертое.
Да, успей.
Четвертое. Четвертое.
Ну ладно.
Я знаю, что
тыкай.
ты хочешь. Четвертое.
Тыкай, тыкай.
Haha, haha. Bluff called. Damn, she saw right through me.
Трус или... Почему же? Да, второе.
Давай.
Well, it doesn't have to be a bluff. Well, I suppose we are in the camp. The tent's right over there. This is true. I'll be standing over here until the blushing stops.
Блин,
Just to
жаль,
be,
что ты раньше с ним
safe.
не поболтал, он бы
You
тебе
know.
рассказал, ну, типа...
Предмет получен. А, он розу дал.
А где там она? Мусор всякий собираем.
Нет, ничего нету. Нет ничего. Ну ладно.
Странно.
Ничего,
So,
пойдем в
all this
палатку.
time we've spent together, you know, the tragedy, the brushes with death, the constant battles with the whole blight looming over us. Will you miss it once it's over?
Первое.
Ну да.
I know it might sound strange, considering we haven't known each other for very long, but I've come to care for you a great deal. I think maybe it's because we've gone through so much together. I don't know. Or maybe I'm imagining it. Maybe I'm fooling myself. Am I? Fooling myself? Or do you think you might ever feel the same way about me?
Ну, два, типа. Подожди, стой.
Да.
Ну, два.
So I fooled you,
Ой,
did I?
блядь. Ой, блядь.
Good to know.
Ох уж эта анимация.
That wasn't too soon, was it?
Ой, музыка.
Ну,
Да.
выключите музыку. Лилиана, отойди. Подальше.
Сейчас пусть пройдет музыка.
Еще раз скажет, иди нахуй.
Еще раз.
Не,
Давай
один.
первое.
Конечно, первое.
Good. I'll take that as a good sign. Maker's breath, but you're beautiful. I am a lucky man. Now, let's get back to what we were up to before, lest I forget why we're here.
Бонус к телосложению получил. Ну-ка. О, вообще. Еще больше, еще больше.
И потом будет четвертый. Блин, ну, я хочу, чтобы он рассказал свою историю ржачную.
Давай еще раз.
Ну,
Your desire is my command.
о, эта фраза. Давай, неважно, подожди, сохранись сначала.
Только что сохранился.
А, ты сохранился, ладно. Просто он там за этот разговор может заминусить.
Your desire is my command. Of course.
Вот, шестое.
Мгм.
Never what? Had a good pair of shoes?
Про секс.
Oh, so that's what we're talking about. I admit I've never had a woman just come out and ask me like this, that's for sure. I myself never had the pleasure. Not that I haven't thought about it, of course. But, you know.
О, так мило, так.
Нет, не надо.
Полизать чё? Что это такое? Ладно, хорошо, хоть не пососать.
Либо первое, либо... Ну, лучше давай первое.
Well, living in the Chantry is not exactly a life for rambunctious boys. They taught me to be a gentleman, especially in the presence of beautiful women such as yourself. Not so bad.
Задолбали, блин. Сосутся тут, блин. Первое.
Ну да.
Of course you are, and you know it. You're ravishing,
Надо было специально
resourceful, and
уродину
all those
сделать.
other things you probably heard me not saying.
Второе.
Ну, давай.
Nor I, you. Let us be off then, lest your risque talk make my ears blush.
Ага, смотри, одобрил даже. Мгм. Мгм. Может быть, подарков им накупить и...
Зачем?
Ну, и хотя бы бонусы. Чисто практический.
If there's anything I can do for you,
Ну, давай
please
забранный
tell
бонус
me.
добавим. И
I'm
это
sure you'll be
как-
pleased with the goods
Блин.
my boy and I have collected.
У него есть что купить?
М,
Погибели магов. Ну-ка, покажи. А, это типа... Жертвоманы. Стой. О! У него нет урона никаких. А ну-ка, книга о физическом развитии покажи.
Ну, это одно очко, которое все равно тратить мне не на что.
На умение или заклинание? Одно очко, которое можно потратить на умение или заклинание.
М.
Ну ладно.
Вот драконью кость, конечно бы.
Кому? Этому?
Либо Зеврану,
Зеврану в одну.
А, 31 сила, это этому только пойдет.
А, ну да, точно.
Можно поднакопить. Это ладно. Можно, конечно, вот эти.
Да, по-моему, это какое-то говно.
Хотя, да, не стоит покупать. Здесь, по-моему,
Переносной бастион. Это щит?
сила, ловкость, телосложение.
Хотя, ну я не знаю, может, хотя, смотря, отклонение стрелы снаряда 8. Мне кажется, он лучше, чем... Как думаешь? Мне кажется, он...
Не, нормальный. У нас нормальный.
Мне этот больше нравится. Ну ладно. Ну-ка. Это просто кольца. А вот это, покажи. Урон от холода. У кого у нас там нет колец, кто холодом бахает?
Это
Вин.
Вин, у него посох простой.
Купи. А. Ясно. Ну ладно, тогда. Ой, вот у него еще руны. Ну это. А вот это?
Ну все, отразить.
А вот это? А, это
вот
молния.
5 урона от холода. Можно купить тоже.
Да, ну.
В смысле, да ну, плюс 5 всяких.
Низ покрутил. Замедление. Ну тут уже как хочешь.
Enchantment?
Enchantment! Так, что у нас есть? Урон от огня, у Алистера. У Зеврана 1 рунный. 1 и 2 рунный другой. Я думаю, я куплю им обоим. Ну, точнее, еще эти 2 руны куплю. Вставлю в Алистера.
Ну, вставь в Алистера.
С параличем, конечно. Шанс парализовать.
Ну, вот смотри, какой. Жаль, не написано, какой шанс.
Угу. Не, лучше тупо в урон. Они же уроны наносят, так что... Сейчас я тогда куплю у него эти
You and
2
your friends are
руны.
formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you along on the road. I'm sure you'll be...
Урон от холода возьму. Урон молнии возьму. Четыре урона от электричества. Так, у меня уже 3 руны получается. И возьму вот эту. Не 4 урона. Все.
Enchantment?
Все равно больше здесь особо не на что.
Enchantment!
Так. Мы возьмем одно электричество, наденем. И огонь. Так, Заврану. Четыре руна мастера. Эксперт льда. Вот. Плюс 3 урона от огня. Все, смотри. О, плюс 10 урона.
Неплохо. Отлично.
Зевран. Плюс 4 урона. И плюс 8 урона.
Шикарно. Ну, теперь они будут пиздить всех.
Мне, конечно, бы на себя бы еще найти какой-нибудь. Но здесь, наверное, не
С
будет.
луками здесь все плохо.
Ладно.
А ты так, бичуй. Пойдем к Вин, пусть она что-нибудь расскажет.
А, вот, смотри,
shall
ящик
be
с
done.
припасами союзников.
О, отдай монеты рыцарям Эрла и Амона.
А что это даст?
Давай 2 золотых.
Я думал, это ящик, где можно хранить.
Нет.
Руны.
Отдай руны.
Да, мне рун все равно.
Неиспользованные руны ученик. А они тебе не нужны? Ты точно знаешь, что у тебя ненужные руны есть? Ну давай ученик тебе точно не нужен.
Угу.
Давай еще подмастерье отдадим. И подмастерье. Все. Мастер оставь.
Very generous, Warden. If you need staff after the battle, keep us in mind.
Все, чё, ничего не сказал.
Ну-ка, лейтенант.
On your order, Grey Warden.
Вам что-нибудь нужно?
The Jarl was generous, but rushed. Certain areas could see improvement. We're a mercenary force, Warden. Much of our equipment is self-financed. Were you to commit
Ну, лучше
additional funds,
экипированы
we
будут на финальной битве.
upgrade as we saw the need.
Ладно.
Пойдем к Вин.
Oh, it's been a long day. Rest would be welcome.
Первое.
Yes, of course. I am just a little weary. As you
Конечно,
may
мы
have
больше за
noticed,
всех 4.
I'm no spring chicken.
Нет, ты вполне зрелая.
В дряхлом теле теплится жизнь. Я не знаю, тут какое-то все оскорбительное. Не знаю, либо первое, либо
Первое,
четвертое.
давай.
Very funny. But in all honesty, I do not know how many years I have left in me. I have lived for such a long time, but there is always something else to do. And I have to keep going in order to do it. I think I will be glad when I am done.
Ты пыхаешься.
Ну,
Вот
два,
второе, да.
скорее всего.
Oh, no. I'm not the sort of person that leaves things unfinished. I'll see this through, I promise.
Еще раз.
Have you encountered many abominations, apart from the ones in the Circle Tower?
Был Конор, да.
Угу.
Ah, yes, Connor, of course. The first time I saw an abomination, my blood turned to ice. It was months before the nightmares stopped. It was the knowledge that I could easily become one of them that frightened me the most.
Три, наверное.
Угу.
Every mage is vulnerable,
Ну
no
да, она
matter
скажет,
how
типа.
accomplished or powerful. That is the first thing we learn. And overconfidence can lead to recklessness. One slip. All it takes is one slip, and everything you are is simply gone. Replaced by madness. And there is no turning back. Or at least that's what they say.
Сомневаешься?
Угу.
Of late, I have begun to wonder if there is any way an abomination can be cured. Or if a mage could be so possessed and still retain their sanity, their humanity.
Первое. Да?
Ну, я не знаю, как хочешь.
Yes, it is madness and cruelty that define abominations. If those are lacking, if the mage remembers the person they truly are, then they are not an abomination. I never saw that. Thank you for showing me another way of looking at it.
Одобрила +1. Карга старая.
I must ask, what does being a Grey Warden mean to you?
Первое.
Ну, либо 3.
Ну, просто убивать. Ну ладно, давай третье.
Либо первое. Не знаю, ну давай первое.
There's that, of course. But there's more to being a Grey Warden than killing Darkspawn and saving the world from the Blight. Ultimately, being a Grey Warden is about serving others, about serving all people, whether elves or dwarves or men.
Третье.
As a Grey Warden, you are a guardian of men, and you guard them because their continued existence is more important than you are. Thus it is you who serves, not they.
Первое или второе?
Первое, наверное.
A good king, a true king who cares for his land, uses his power to rule firmly but fairly. He serves his people first and foremost. The king who does not do this, who believes that he is entitled to his power, who abuses it and uses it for his own means, is a tyrant.
Либо первое, либо третье. Давай третье.
Ага, потом бац, и станешь женой короля Алистера. Да как хочешь.
If you live apart from others, and your actions affect only you, then you may do as you wish. But if you have power, influence, and strength, your every action will be as a drop of water in a clear, still pond. The drop causes ripples, and ripples spread. Think of how far they will go, how wide they will become, how will they affect the pond. But I've lectured enough for today. I should stop before I wear out my welcome. You're
Еще
quite
хочу
taken
лекцию.
with each other, aren't you?
Кто? О, тебе известно про нас с Алистером?
Да, пожалуй.
Нет, давай 2.
It's hard not to notice the doe-eyed looks he gives you, especially when he thinks no one's watching. It's almost too sweet for my tastes, and I'm an old lady who should be making lace hearts and fuzzy blankets with animal motifs.
Третье. Второе или первое? Первое, наверное.
Первое, да.
No, I won't be making socks with pom-poms for you anytime soon. But that's hardly my point. I've noticed your blossoming relationship, and I wanted to ask you where you thought it was going. Alistair is a fine lad, skilled in battle, but quite inexperienced when it comes to affairs of the heart. I would hate to see him get hurt.
Ну, типа, наверное, 2. Типа, Алистер пожует
Not
стекла.
intentionally, no. But there is great potential for tragedy here, for one or both of you. You are both Grey Wardens, and he is the son of a king. You have responsibilities which supersede your personal desires.
Либо третье.
Ну, тут да, только, блин, либо 2, либо 3.
Давай 3, потому что она говорит, что даже если ты как бы не хочешь, но твои дела как-то влияют на... то ты должен это учитывать. То есть, грубо говоря, хочешь не хочешь быть королем, будь королем. А если будешь королем, то будь хорошим королем. Как я понял ее разговор.
Ну, да, давай 3.
Love is ultimately selfish. It demands that one be devoted to a single person who may fully occupy one's mind and heart to the exclusion of all else. A Grey Warden cannot afford to be selfish. You may be forced to make a choice between saving your love and saving everyone else. And then what would you do?
Конечно же,
Я не желаю делать такой выбор.
или первое.
Давай
Ну,
второе.
Давай.
Nothing is certain. Not in these times. You cannot take anything for granted. I want you to be aware of this.
Мы с Алистером справимся с любой бедой. Третье.
А первое нет?
Первое, это, короче, подумать над тем, что не
Ладно, давай,
вмешивать лично.
короче. Да, давай.
If you insist, I have given my advice.
Да, она сейчас
Do with it
заминусит
what you
тебе.
will.
Типа, ах ты ж кура
Нет.
хевшая. А, нет, +2. Ну ладно.
What's on your mind?
Так,
Теперь тебе лучше?
как-то слишком грубо.
Oh, yes, and thank you for asking. I'm feeling much better today.
Либо 2.
Давай 2.
3,
Или
блин.
4. Давай 4.
Ну, давай 4.
Well, thank you for your kindness, my dear. It certainly warms these rickety old bones.
Если что, могу попросить Алистера согреть твою дряхлую... Нет, лучше этого.
Заврана.
Заврана, да.
Алистера не надо трогать.
What's on your mind?
Завран кого угодно согреет. Мне кажется, даже Стэн растает.
Давай первое.
Давай.
Is something troubling you?
Ну, либо 2, либо... Ну да,
Да, второе,
мне
да.
кажется, 2.
No one said it would be easy. You are one of the 2 surviving Grey Wardens in Ferelden. You defend all of us, and much rests on your shoulders. It may not mean much to you, but thank you for having the courage to continue to fight.
Первое.
And that gives me hope.
Да, еще. Давай спросим ее о круге.
Have you
Что-нибудь.
heard much about the Grey Wardens of old?
Третье.
Может, 4?
Ну, заминусит.
Да ну, не заминусит.
Ну ладно.
Griffins. Alas, that seems to be the only thing people remember from the tales.
Ну да,
The
сейчас
mighty
заминусит.
flying
Скажешь,
mounts
что
that
ты
bore the
порыжий.
Grey Wardens into battle.
Ну, мне бы очень хотелось Гриффина.
Давай первое.
Unfortunately, they've all passed back into the Maker's hand. So that wish will have to go unfulfilled. It was said that watching the Wardens ride in on their white griffins was enough to rouse a weary heart and put the dance back in the step of an old man. The Grey Wardens were powerful, feared and respected, but they also inspired the common people. I remember a tale that was told to me many years ago.
Гриффин.
Да, продолжай.
The blight had ravaged the land for months, and the armies of the great kings had amassed for one last stand. As the sun burst through the clouds that boiled and churned in the dark sky above, it illuminated a vast, seething horde of darkspawn, with the archdemon at its head. And it was then, when courage seemed to fail, and all lost to death and despair, that the Grey Wardens came. They arrived with the beating of wings like mighty war drums and stood before the armies of men.
Что было дальше?
Грифоны, блин. Да.
The Grey Wardens, grim and fearless, marched forth, ever between the men and the encroaching Darkspawn. They formed a shield of their own bodies and held that line until the Archdemon was dead, and the last Darkspawn lay trampled in the dirt. And then, demanding neither reward nor recognition for their sacrifice, the Grey Wardens departed. When the clouds finally rolled back, and the sun shone full upon the blighted ground, the great kings knew that they had lost no men, and none of their blood had been spilled.
Первое.
Ну,
This is a tale about no battle the
просто
Grey
смотрел,
Wardens
ты
have
читаешь.
fought, and yet about them all. They have always defended us from the Darkspawn, taking losses so we do not have to. People may have forgotten over the centuries, but nothing has changed. This knowledge has been blessing and burden to Grey Wardens past, and now it shall be your blessing and your burden. What's on your mind?
Может, округи расспросить?
I will answer to the best of my ability.
Как она стала магом?
Родилась. Ну, давай.
People don't become mages, they are born mages. The talent just surfaces later. But you are asking how I ended up at the Circle. I was brought there by the Templars, just like many of the other apprentices. I don't remember very much. I was very young then.
Первая, наверное.
Мне интересно, как они реально узнали.
Ну, мне интересно, что случилось с ее семьей.
I didn't have a family. I never knew my real parents. My earliest memory was of hiding in a hayloft on a farm, trying to keep warm. I was found, and the farmer's wife was kind enough not to send me away. But they had children of their own, and I was never made to feel welcome. The eldest son was the worst. He was always calling me a stray, and throwing anything he could get his hands on at me. And I don't know how it happened, but one day he just found his hair on fire. Fortunately, there was a large trough nearby.
Третья, мне кажется.
And you would have seen yourself trussed up like a festival turkey and paraded about the square for it. Village folk have little love for witches like us. Thankfully, all I had to endure was a few nights locked in a cold barn with a bowl of water and a crust of bread. The Templars arrived several mornings later.
Ну, так и узнали.
Первое.
Ну, наверное.
I'll never forget the moment the Templars led me into the entrance hall of the tower. I had never seen anything so grand in my life. I stopped being afraid then. I knew I was home.
Ну, да.
Well, that's about all there is to my tale. That's how I came to the Circle. I would be lying if I said it was easy. First, there were rules, and we were constantly watched to make sure we behaved appropriately. Then there was the study of magic. We had to cast the spells just so, control the effects completely. A single word spoken incorrectly, a gesture out of sync, and lack of focus. And we needed to have perfect focus, or we would be in danger.
Три.
From Fade spirits. If we were careless, they would enter our minds, and we would become abominations. Without the Circle and my mentors, I would not have been where I am today. And there was joy in life at the Circle. The joys of fellowship, in knowing that you were not alone in your struggles. In spite of everything, I was happy in the tower, and I loved it.
Ну-ка, насколько там мы ее уже Пошло.
What's on your mind?
Ну, давай первым.
No, you won't.
Ну ты откровенно. Давай вторая.
Ну, давай.
Were you expecting an, oh, I'm sure you will. You'll have dozens of babies and die happy and old in your bed. No, you won't. If I had said that, it would have been a lie, and I would have been doing you an injustice. You wonder sometimes, don't you? If your life would be better if you weren't who you are.
Нет, мне нравится моя жизнь. Я тут с Алистером.
I didn't. Not for a long time. When I was a young woman in the tower, I came to the realization that the circle would be my life, and I would know no other. Family, love, a simple life. These were things that others took for granted, that I would never have.
Первая или вторая?
Первым?
It made me very moody. All I could think of was being trapped in that tower with no way out and no end in sight. I started hating my life and myself, and one night I found myself in the
Она
tower's
сказала, что ей
chapel.
нравилась
I was
башня.
seeking
Ну, поначалу,
refuge,
когда она только туда
maybe
приехала.
answers.
После. Нашла?
I must have looked tearful or made some noise, because the revered mother came out and decided to speak to me. And because I had no one else to talk to, I talked to her. I must have said many silly things, but she told me that the Maker puts us all on our paths for a reason, and fighting our intended course is what causes so much anguish.
Стало легче? Ладно, первая.
I thought the old biddy was full of rubbish. I was 15, maybe 16, and I knew everything. So I left, but I always found my way back to that chapel. And as the years passed, I began to see the truth of her words. We were supposed to be polar opposites, mage and priest. But we weren't. There was much about us that was the same.
Третья.
Not all priests choose their path. Some children are given to the chantry to raise and become initiates. The revered mother had lived in the chantry all her life, as I had been in the tower for all of mine. She taught me that you can find your family in the people around you, that you can love your work and find fulfillment in duty, and there is joy even in self-sacrifice. If you put others before yourself, then their well-being is yours, and their happiness is your happiness.
Три, наверное. Не знаю.
You can scream and cry and be angry about life as a Grey Warden, or you can accept it and allow yourself to see the good in it. This is your choice.
Скажи, с этой стороной я уже целовалась. Так.
Я как будто с живым человеком поговорила. Пойдем с этим, с Явраном сейчас поговорим.
Yep.
Может быть, на несколько вопросов?
All right, but I get to stare at you luridly while you do so.
Ну, первое, может, или он нам...
Well, now, I imagine that's a very fair question.
Я не помню, мы у него это
Being an assassin,
спрашивали.
Я вот
after all,
тоже
is
не
a
помню.
Ну, раз
living,
есть
at least
вариант,
as far as
значит, не
such things
спрашиваем.
go. I was simply never given the opportunity to choose another way. So, if that choice presents itself, why should I not seize upon it?
Чё? Еще хуже, наверное, да? Ну что, первое, второе, третье?
Ну, может быть, давай 2.
To be truthful, I didn't even know the crows existed when I joined them. I was but a boy of 7 when I was purchased, for 3 sovereigns, I'm told, which is a good price, considering I was all ribs and bone and didn't know the pommel of a dagger from the pointy end. The crows buy all their assassins that way. Buy them young, raise them to know nothing else but murder, and if you do poorly in your training, you die.
Два, может.
Oh, I don't know about that. The crows who are actually good enough to survive come to enjoy some of the benefits. In Antiva, being a crow gets you respect. It gets you wealth. Gets you women. And men. Or whatever it is you might fancy. But that does not mean doing what is expected of you always. And it means being expendable. It's a cage, if a gilded cage. Pretty, but confining.
Почему что ты просто не ушел?
Не, может быть, первое?
At the moment, I happen to fancy you. Which is handy, as I happen to be following you about the countryside. That is, of course, presuming you don't decide to kill me at some point. It spoils the mood, I'm told. As for what I'll do in the future, presuming that there is one, I truly can't imagine. It might be interesting to go into business for myself, for a change. Far away from Antiva, of course. For now, naturally, I go where you go.
Ну, 4.
And here I am, happy to be had. Isn't it wonderful how things work out that way? Come now, enough chit-chat. Talking about the crows summons them, you know. Any Antivan fishwife could tell you so.
А, еще бонус к ловкости.
Ну-ка, посмотри. Блин, с ним разговаривать одно удовольствие. Да, сейчас не поболтаем.
What is your desire?
Личное?
А мы несколько вопросов уже
All
задавали,
right, but I get to stare at you luridly while you do so.
Может, снова появится. О.
да? Ага.
And why not? There are many things to enjoy about being a crow in Antiva. You are respected, you are feared, the authorities go out of their way to overlook your trespasses, even the rewards are nothing to turn your nose up at. As for the killing part, well, some people simply need assassinating. Or do you disagree?
3.
I often find myself the instrument of fate, ending these lives for one necessity or another. I console myself with the notion that most of them had it coming. As far as enjoying the act of killing itself, why not? There is a certain artistry to the deed, the pleasure of sinking your blade into their flesh and knowing that their life is in your hands.
Может, 4?
There are many things I did not enjoy about being a crow, of course. Having no choice, being treated as an expendable commodity, the rules, oh, so many rules. But simply being an assassin, I like it just fine. I will continue to do it if I can, even if I am not a crow. Honestly, could you picture me doing something else?
Первое.
Первое?
Сейчас, подожди. А то, если ты ответишь первое, прибежит Алистер и по ебучке вам обоим
Второе
настучит.
тогда.
Да, первое.
I mean professionally. Or maybe you mean professionally as well. Perhaps you intend to peddle my services to bored Ferelden noblewomen. It is an interesting thought, but I've always removed my clothes strictly on an amateur basis. A talented amateur, of course, but an amateur nonetheless. Of course, all these thoughts are moot. Chances are still good that you and I will perish, eaten by darkspawn or slain by the crows at some point. Very gruesomely, I imagine. But it is pleasant enough to chat about. Come, let's move on while our boots still have some wear in them.
Что еще?
Ну, ткни на него еще раз.
What is your desire? All right, but I get to stare at you luridly while you do so.
О,
My adventures? I'm hardly an old man just returned from across the ocean, am I? Should I shake my fist at nearby children while I talk about the good old days?
Может быть, 2?
Falling down a flight of stairs is an adventure. Falling into someone's bed, also an adventure. I am assuming what you're looking for are professional anecdotes. Let's see, my second mission ever for the Crows was a bit intriguing. I was sent to kill a mage who had been meddling in politics.
Второе.
Может, 1?
А мне интересно, что за первое у него было задание.
Нет, первое задание это, наверное, прибить ее. Ну, давай.
Well, it was just the one mage. Not as simple a mission as the vagrant Grey Warden or two,
Ну, вот,
perhaps.
Ну,
As it turned
логично же
out, the
было,
mage in
наверное.
question was quite a delightful young woman.
Очень странно.
Long, divine legs, as I recall. I caught her in a carriage on her way to escape to the
Я думал, до
provinces.
меня какие-то.
After I
Вообще
killed her
самое-самое
guard,
первое.
she got down on her hands and knees and begged for her life. Rather aptly, I might add. So I joined her in the carriage for the night and left the next morning.
Может, 3?
Well, yes, twice, actually. Then she decided to try and use me instead. The woman had actually convinced me to speak to the Crows on her behalf. What can I say? I was young and foolish at the time. Then, as I was kissing her goodbye to return to Antiva City, she slipped on the threshold and fell backwards out of the carriage. Broke her neck. Shame, really, but at least it happened quickly.
1.
At first, yes. Well, not upset. Surprised is really a better word. Then I found out that she had told the driver to take her to Janellen instead. She had planned to lose me in the provinces. I would have looked very foolish to the Crows. As it was, my master was very impressed that I had done such a fine job of making it look like an accident. The circle of Magi was unaware of foul play, and everyone was happier
Lucky
all
guy.
around.
2.
I got stupid, in fact, and very lucky. It was after that when I learned that one needn't let a pretty face go to your head. Professionalism was key. That's my moral of the day, you see.
Без души. Ну, либо 3,
Ты
либо...
третью.
Ну, давай 3.
And one that not everyone learns, I'm sad to say. But that's enough tale spinning from me for the moment. Talking about the mage has made me a bit nostalgic, I'm afraid. Ah, the good old days.
Просто что-то мы с ними долго не болтали, с нашими спутниками, поэтому сейчас болтаем за все разы.
What is your desire? All right,
Вам сейчас
but I get
закончится.
to stare at you luridly while you do so. Again, well now, what might interest you, I wonder? Shall I describe the stages involved with Lanthrax poisoning? I watched a man go through all 7 once.
Звучит интересно.
Haha, you have rather macabre tastes, I see. I like that. Let's see, how about the largest battle I ever took part in? That would have been the slaughter of Prince Azrin. Did you hear of that down in these parts?
Вряд ли.
Prince Azrin was 4th in line to the throne, you see. He started off as 11th, but worked his way up the old-fashioned method by inheriting control of an entire Crocell from his grandfather. After assassinating his way through the royal family, the king hired 3 other cells to take down Prince Azrin once and for all. I was in one of those cells.
Первое или второе?
2.
Prince Azrin was too powerful. Who could you send to arrest the man that wasn't either in his pocket or that didn't fear being assassinated first? Antivan royalty is very much bound up in the Crows. You wouldn't want it run by a bunch of commoners, after all, would you? And this means they get involved in politics quite often. This particular fight nearly bankrupted the nation, I understand. It almost ended up putting a crow on the throne, a commoner. But that's a whole different story. I played a very small part.
Что ж ты делал?
My part in the entire battle was taken up trying to reach Princess Verina, who had thrown in with her brother. I killed about 11 of her guards personally before I got knocked out of a window. I landed in a river and nearly drowned. I was fished out by some urchins who robbed me blind. Made off with my boots, too. At least they didn't cut my throat. And that was my part in history.
Третье.
Может, один?
I had to find my way back to the safe house, bruised and naked, and thankful to be alive. But there you go. Tale told. Let's be off before I tell more embarrassing stories, huh?
Ну-ка, может,
What is your desire? All right, but I get to stare at you luridly while you do so. Well, the only one that's really worth telling is the story of the mission right before I came to Ferelden. But no, I would rather not. I shouldn't have said anything.
Нет. Да.
Nothing that I would prefer to speak of. Perhaps another day. I'm sorry.
Ух ты, педор.
Ну ладно, хоть одобрил. Давай паузу сделаем.